Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Jonathan Kuminga's story with the Warriors has always been one of ups and downs. Wonderful moments contrast with bad moments, not only on the court, but also in the relationship with coach Steve Kerr. The Warriors want to make a big signing, and the ideal at the moment would be to get rid of Kuminga to get another player. Warriors are determined to trade Jonathan Kuminga. And a great move would be to trade him for Trey Young from the Atlanta Hawks. Stephen Curry and Trey Young together will be a lethal, unstoppable duo with great scoring power. Of course, there are other exchange options, and the Warriors are keeping an eye on this. Will Jonathan Kuminga be traded for a star player? The Golden State Warriors are using their depth to dominate. With many victories in the Western Conference, playing in a 12-player rotation. DeAnthony Melton's season-ending injury didn't stop coach Steve Kerr. No player averages more than 30 minutes per game, with only Stephen Curry and Draymond Green over 28. Jonathan Kuminga has felt the effects of the Dubs' depth. Many expected him to take over as the franchise's number 2 scorer, but he is 6th on the team in minutes per game at just 22.9 each night. His playing time is trending down and leaves Golden State with a tough decision to make after the two sides failed to reach an extension. The Warriors attempted to trade for a superstar in the offseason but struck out on Paul George and Lauri Markkanen. Expect interest to remain in a consolidation trade. The Dubs need the right star, and the available options may not force the issue. Here are 5 potential replacements if Golden State decides to trade Kuminga. Zach LaVine. The Bulls want to trade LaVine but have not found a partner willing to take on the $94.9 million owed to him over the next 2 seasons. He is an elite scorer and doing it efficiently to begin this season. LaVine must keep it up, but a trade still feels unlikely based on his injury history and failure to consistently win. Fans have seen Buddy Hield pop in the Dubs system, and LaVine's elite shooting may do the same. This would be a massive gamble for Golden State that will be stopped by the luxury tax implications. The Warriors would have to trade multiple pieces to match LaVine's salary, which does not make sense. It won't happen, but expect the Dubs to be mentioned in the rumors. Jerami Grant. Grant is another name constantly in the rumors. Portland is rebuilding, and paying significant money to a 30-year-old forward does not fit their timeline. Grant helped the Nuggets reach the conference finals in 2020 and has shown he can do more with the ball in his hands since. The 6'7" forward has shot over 40% from three-point range in each of the last 2 seasons and would give the Warriors another versatile two-way option. Grant is in the 2nd season of a 5-year, $160 million contract. It would lock the Warriors into a significant salary through his 2027 player option, but he could provide a dynamic frontcourt partnership with Draymond Green that wreaks havoc on the rest of the Western Conference. Golden State wants to add a co-star for Stephen Curry, and Jerami Grant likely is not quite marquee enough. Expect the Warriors to target an all-star to significantly raise their ceiling. There will be rumors, but this feels extremely unlikely. Brandon Ingram. BI is in the final year of his contract and readily available. The Pelicans are over the tax for the first time in franchise history but could be facing a lost season. Injuries have decimated their roster in the early going and already have them facing an uphill battle. If Ingram is not part of their future, the Pels may deal him to the highest bidder before the deadline. Ingram is averaging 23.2 points, 5.9 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and 0.9 steals in 33.6 minutes per game this season. The 6'8" forward is a plus shooter that shined in the 2022 postseason. He struggled in the first round in 2024, but the Warriors could offer some new actions to unlock his skill set. Consider this unlikely too. Brandon Ingram was available over the summer, but the Warriors did not acquire him. The price may come down, but it would still cost Golden State multiple pieces as they are just $0.5 million below the first tax apron where they are hard-capped. Trey Young. Young has struggled to make shots this season but is still producing monster numbers. He averages 21.9 points, 11.6 assists, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.2 steals, despite shooting just 38% from the field. Fans know Young is an elite offensive engine with significant defensive concerns. The Hawks are clearly building a team with length and athleticism and may decide that parting with Ice Trey creates their best shot at contention. A Curry and Young backcourt would be impossible to stop, but likely does not vastly improve the Warriors' shot at title contention. They would be an elite offense that struggles to get stops on the other end. Young figures to be one of the best players available, but fit concerns could quickly have the Dubs hanging up when Atlanta calls. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets has a $52.4 million player option for the 2025-26 season and could force his way out of South Beach before the deadline. Fans have seen him raise his game to lift the Heat to 2 NBA Finals since 2020. Could Butler be waiting for a new team to unleash him? The 35-year-old is an elite two-way wing when locked in and healthy. There is no questioning his desire to win, and no franchise looks forward to facing playoff Jimmy. If the Warriors want to improve their title odds, Butler is the player to acquire. This is a difficult trade to make given the financial restraints on each franchise. They may have to get a third franchise involved to make the math work. If both sides are motivated, they will figure it out, but this is a gamble for the Warriors on a 35-year-old with a lengthy injury history. The Golden State Warriors will not have the perfect option available before the trade deadline but should look to move Jonathan Kuminga if he is not a key piece of their future plans. Can they get a star in return? It will be something worth watching all the way until the February 6th trade deadline. Warriors get championship endorsement from Bob Myers, Kendrick Perkins. The Golden State Warriors are atop the Western Conference, and it surprised former general manager Bob Myers and Kendrick Perkins. Both spoke on the NBA on ESPN and elaborated on how dominant they feel the Dubs have been. The Warriors have been poppin' in the West like Kendrick Lamar's new album, Perkins said. Kendrick Lamar's newest album GNX came out on Friday unexpectedly and has gained massive traction. After his ongoing battle with fellow rapper Drake, the announcement came as a shock. In Golden State's case, they've surprised many folks as well. From Chris Paul departing for San Antonio to Klay Thompson leaving for the Dallas Mavericks, the roster shakeup has been huge. However, both Stephen Curry and Draymond Green are the mainstays from the dynasty. Despite them continuing to age, they've built a solid young core around them. For example, they have Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, and Buddy Hield. While Curry has been the best player, he hasn't had to do everything. As a result, Golden State has the third best offense in the league. On the flip side, they've excelled defensively, being the fifth best team in that metric. They have a near 10-point differential when comparing the two metrics. Bob Myers and Kendrick Perkins' compliments highlight Warriors capitalizing on weaker conference. When the camera turned to Myers, he showed love to his former team. Also, he mentioned a conversation with current executive Mike Dunleavy that they had in 2022, the year they won the NBA championship. "I'm actually surprised the West hasn't looked as strong as I thought. When I was there, I huddled up with Mike Dunleavy, and he said this is our chance because there's no dominant team." Dunleavy isn't wrong. Despite the amalgamation of talent in the Western Conference, there hasn't been a standout. It was the Phoenix Suns for a bit before Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal were injured. The same thing happened with the Los Angeles Lakers during the first 2 weeks of the season. Regardless, Golden State is taking advantage of the lack of a dominant presence. While that might change during the season, seizing the moment is pivotal for them. For Curry, a fifth title would cement his legacy as one of the greats. Not to mention, it would add one more to arguably one of the most dominant franchises this century. However, there's much of the season left, so going through the ebbs and flows is essential to get a proper gauge of how far they can go.